Annyeonghaseyo, I'm Lord, and I want to say hi to all my Korean fans. It's such a pleasure being here. I love Seoul, and I can't wait to see you later on. Oh man, Korea is amazing. I'd never been here and I didn't really know what to expect, but it's so beautiful. I was just kind of wandering through the city today and taking everything in. I bought some very delicious snacks. Yeah, it's been awesome so far. Yeah, it feels amazing to have another album out. It's been such a long time coming, and it feels so good to, show people where I'm at musically after, a few years, because it's really different. 16 and 20 are such different ages, but it's been wonderful, and the response has been so kind, so yeah, it feels good. I don't know if you ever feel like you've matured. I sort of go between feeling like an old lady and a 15-year-old girl all the time. But I think when I turned 20, I did feel like I'd sort of grown up a little bit, or left some of that kind of teenage stuff behind, and I felt ready to go into a new chapter and start writing about different things and experiencing different things. I think the biggest difference between pure heroine and melodrama is probably just the way I sort of look at life as a narrator. I think pure heroine was very kind of insular, and it's about my friends and my town and my high school, and melodrama exists in a really different space geographically, but also kind of emotionally and mentally. It sort of looks outward at the world much more, and I think that is sort of the way I continue to change as an artist. I kind of don't find it too difficult to share my personal life in songs. I love it when songs are super personal and like almost in a kind of a way that's hard for people to even relate to. It so specifically your experience. It's like writing a map to your emotions and your heart, and it can be really sort of life-affirming to do that. Yeah, I sort of write all these personal things and then just don't tell the people about them until they come out and hope it'll be fine. And by that point, I've usually sort of wrapped them in enough metaphor and mystery anyway. But yeah, fingers crossed I don't get in any awkward situations. Yeah, I mean, I was always really into singing, and I definitely kind of grew to really appreciate my voice because it was a tool that I could use to, express all different kinds of emotions. And what I love about singing is, and as I've gotten older, better at singing, you can just impart the tiniest little bit of an emotion into like one word or one line, and I find it really like challenging and fun to kind of use this crazy tool and produce these really personal results. Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely did some different stuff vocally on Melodrama for sure. We did a lot more high stuff, really high kind of vocal range stuff. We also played with kind of syncopation in the vocal melodies. And I definitely, my melodies continue to change and develop as I keep writing, and that's, such a fun thing about making music for sure. I find listening to unreleased music either in a car, walking around, or on public transport really valuable. I think that hearing it the way other people will hear it when they're, moving around the world is really helpful, as opposed to just hearing it in a studio and fancy speakers. I think context is really important. So I would spend a lot of time taking the songs out for walks or rides on the subway in New York, and yeah, just really sort of hear them in that capacity. And it's a strange thing to listen to your own music on the train, but very worth it, I think. I think we definitely I think the mix was definitely informed by, sitting and listening to the songs on like cheap headphones that everyone would be listening on. I think I made choices with the mix based on riding the train and getting in the car and stuff. I definitely felt the second album pressure, as they say. It was so flattering and so amazing that Pure Heroine was received the way it was, and I was definitely aware that I had to give people something just as special and singular, while still having a progression in the work and doing something interesting and new, and I think that's why the album took a while. I really spent my time perfecting that and making sure it was its own kind of singular statement, and I think we achieved that. I feel really pumped about it. I mean, they're kind of all my favorites. I think Sober is one of the ones I'm really proud of. I did a lot of the production on that, and it was kind of my baby, and that had a long journey, so I really love that one. I love Rider in the Dark as well. That came together kind of right at the end of writing Melodrama and came together quite quickly, and it was quite simple, and I knew exactly what I was doing, and both of those two I'm super proud of. I mean, I think that every year is different when you are a preteen or a teenager, or your first year out of teenagedom. I think all of those years are so transformative, and I definitely felt like now I look back and I think, where did all those years go? It seems to have moved so quickly, but back then, it was just about kind of endlessly learning and understanding kind of new skills and taking stuff on, and just trying to, make as much work as I could and make good work, interesting work, and really push myself. I don't know, I guess, I don't know if I'm more confident now or if I was more confident then. I'm not sure. I feel like I was a pretty confident 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old. I think now I'm sort of more, I don't know, just sort of looking at the world and a little bit more chilled, and I'm just like, every day I get to make music and have it be my job is a really, special day, so yeah. I think one of the best things about being in the industry and doing what we do is getting to kind of work with people that I'm really inspired by, and work with people whose work I grew up, enjoying as a child or as a teenager. It always blows my mind. Someone will tweet at me and I'll be like, yours was the first album that I bought. So that kind of stuff is always amazing, and just getting to, be able to be in a room with these people is so cool, or, to play a festival with them or whatever. But that's probably the good thing. And then I think the hardest part, I think the lifestyle is quite busy and intensive, and you have to go a lot of places and meet a lot of people, and it's incredible, and also I get quite tired. But it's a small negative, I think, in the scheme of things. How does the travel affect me? I've probably got like way more grey hairs because of the traveling. It's okay. I've gotten pretty good at sort of FaceTiming friends and keeping in touch with people, via text or WhatsApp or whatever. So it's not too bad. It's a good age to be traveling a lot. We have these amazing phones. I feel like 50 years ago, it would have been a different story. I'd probably have gone crazy. But it's all good. Oh man, yeah, totally. I think where I'm from, 100% influences what I write, and I've only kind of gotten more like grateful for it. I think when I was a kid, I just wanted to get out of there and go to New York or go to London or whatever. And as I've gotten older, I've realized how magical New Zealand is, and especially my city. It's a small city, but there's so much going on, and young people are really trying to make cool stuff, and more people are sort of sticking around in the city and trying to make something of living in a place so far away. I think there's something in the water down there. I think it's kind of magical.
Do you spend a lot of time in New Zealand, or do you spend most of the time in other countries?
Oh no, I definitely spend I spend all my free time in New Zealand. These days, you know, I have less free time than usual, but for sure that's where I spend the most time. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to play in Korea. I feel like this is going to be an amazing crowd. I don't know what to expect, but I think it's going to be kind of wonderful. I always try and sort of walk around a city and get a sense of, you know, the people or the vibe, and I feel like Seoul is such a great place. I already feel such a good energy from it, and I think the Korean crowd is going to be amazing. Oh man, artists I would want to collaborate with. I mean, I definitely, my best friend in high school, Albert Cho, shout out to Albert if you happen to watch this, definitely gave me a big K-pop education. You know, all the big things, obviously, like 21 and Girls' Generation and everything, but also like people who would win talent shows and like Boa and all these other people. So I feel like there are so many amazing K-pop artists for sure. I don't know who I would collaborate with. I mean, I love CL. She's a good friend of mine, and I just think she's so wonderful, and I would love to do something with her. We've definitely had some fun times hanging out, so that would be cool, I think. I don't tend to choreograph or plan my stage movement. I like it to kind of feel spontaneous and for it to just sort of happen in the moment. I definitely do a lot of weird moves, but I think it's a fun thing being able to be so uninhibited in such a sort of big public way. It always makes me feel really good, and it's good with this album because I can really jump around a lot. Lots of dancing, so it's been good.
In the car going to the summer vacation.
Oh, in the car going to summer vacation, supercar.
Sitting by the window with the summer rain, like today.
Oh, Rider in the Dark.
Really sad breakup.
Oh, hard feelings. That's a sad one.
And then it's like when you don't want to study, when you don't want to work.
Sober. I really love, there's a place called Lake Taupo. It's a gorgeous lake in the middle of the North Island, and you can kind of drive all around it, and everywhere around that lake is really beautiful. I grew up going there in summer as a child, and I would jump off these like rocks into the lake, and it was really scary and super fun. So yeah, I recommend Lake Taupo for sure. I guess just thanks so much for listening. Thanks for bringing me here. It's such a joy to visit Korea, and if I see you, let me know which delicious Korean snacks to eat. Just had some delicious chips that were fried chicken flavored. I really enjoyed them. Yeah, I love you lots.